And we soldiered on, but I think the most important achievement was the policy change brought about by the 2017 manifesto for the many, not the few. My only concern, I said this to Andrew Fisher the night before it came out, I said, Andrew, it's absolutely great, it's brilliant, but isn't it a bit long? He said, comrade, the original draft was twice as long. So I rested content with that. But there were 7 million people in the country accessed our manifesto in some way or the other, either bought copies or online. It was the first time a political party's manifesto has had to be reprinted after the election because of demand for it. That document changed the course of Labour movement history. Changed the course of Labour movement history, and for that I'm very, very proud of what was achieved there. The 2019 manifesto built on those achievements and particularly fleshed out the idea of a green industrial revolution, and particularly fleshed out the offer we would make to young people in our society. And so the Ford inquiry needs to be read carefully and listened to. But to say there was an equivalence between the team that I had around me as the elected leader of the party and people who decided that their position was to deliberately obstruct the wishes of the elected leader of the party cannot be accepted and will not be accepted by me, or I suspect most of you in this hall here today. Now, I could go on a long time, but I don't want to, because there's going to be other events here in Liverpool this weekend. I just want to conclude with this thought. Yesterday, the Chancellor of the Exchequer got up in Parliament and delivered a quite astonishing budget statement. He didn't call it a budget statement, but that's what it was. He said, in a few paragraphs, exactly what Tory Britain has become. The banker's bonus is back. The high rate of 45% taxation is going or gone. The money for people who are in receipt of universal credit but also working part-time, which they're perfectly entitled to, will be cut. The taper will be made steeper to make people lose universal credit at a faster rate when they have a part-time job and thus become poorer. The general cut in the rate of taxation is obviously not fair. It has a minimal effect and benefit to people on the lowest levels of income. It has the best effect on people at higher levels of income. There is nothing redistributive about it at all, unless you talk about redistribution from the poorest to the richest. And the energy crisis, where we've already had a 100% increase in energy bills, has now been hardwired in by a huge government gift to the energy companies to protect their profits and profit base, and allegedly freeze for 2 years the prices at 100% of what they were a year ago, at a time when gas prices are actually beginning to come down on the wholesale market. Had we won that election in 2017, we probably would not have had an overall majority. That would have been a bridge, probably several bridges too far. But we would have had, as Len pointed out, and we've gained all this out, a minority government in which we'd have dared the Lib Dems and the SNP to vote against John McDonnell's first budget, which would have been a redistributive budget and would have been helping the poorest people in this country. That was the whole point behind it. But when we all get together next Saturday on the marches and demonstrations to oppose what this government is doing, yeah, we're going to be there, we're going to do all of that. But as enough is enough and others are put forward, it's not enough just to oppose it. We've got to say what we would do. And what we would do, in broad terms, is this. We wouldn't cut taxation for the richest, we'd raise it. We wouldn't abolish the banker's bonus, we'd make it stronger. Would we be cutting benefits to the poorest and refuse to guarantee to raise DWP benefits in line with inflation? Absolutely no. The whole point would be investment to improve people's lives, to improve living standards, to improve wages, and improve opportunities for the young people in our society who grow up in poverty, live find themselves paying excessive rents in the private sector for decades because of the lack of investment in so much social housing. Our job as socialists, our job as a movement, is to organise against what the Tories are doing, but it's to inspire people that there is an alternative, to inspire people to come together, to defeat this rotten system that consigns so many to poverty and our planet to destruction because of the greed of big business and the richest in the world. There is an alternative out there, a socialist alternative, a green industrial revolution, a revolution that ends poverty, that gives real hope and real opportunity for people in a society where we truly understand our history in order to